Equal to the truth is repetition. You want to be annoying to people, be honest and repetitive. It's true. But if you want to be impactful to people, you want to be a great leader, a great collaborator, great co-creator, then be honest and repetitive. Today, we're going to teach you can't solve a problem in the same consciousness in which it was created. A lesson I learned from Albert Einstein, but it's most relevant today because of technologies, because we have access to multiple consciousness at our fingertips. You can take any problem, any solution, and go ahead and run it through your generative AI and just say, hey, how would Einstein solve this? How would Dr. Wayne Dyer solve this? How would Dr. Joe Dispenza solve it? Whoever you want, Viktor Frankl, whoever you want, you can shift a consciousness now in a matter of seconds. And we can see different perspectives, different meanings that people would give to what we do. And this is a really powerful tool because it stops the loop of our own genetic and energetic inheritance. It stops the loop of our own consciousness. We start seeing things in a different way. Remember Dr. Wayne Dyer, who based it off of Xander's writing, said something really powerful that changed my life. He said, David, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. So if you want to see the power and the value in changing your consciousness, which we now can utilize artificial intelligence because of the synthesized data and speed in which it works, it can gather all of the social silo of anyone and go ahead and put your problem through their social silo and come up with some sort of recognition or resolve or resolution to that problem. And so for us today, I want to make sure that everybody here in person and in every platform that we're on knows that you can get the exercise, the guide, everything for free. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. So if you'd like this training guide, exercises, or even my book, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. All right. In every challenge that we face, and I always say, don't waste a challenge, don't waste a struggle, the quality of our solutions are determined by the level of consciousness from which we approach the problem. As I stated, Albert Einstein wisely said, we can't solve a problem with the same thinking we used when we created them. And this is so important for us to know that we need to change the way we look at things so the things we change, or otherwise we're just in the same loop created by the different evidence that we see and the patterns that exist. So many people live in these loops, a thermostat to whatever it is that they want. They wonder why they keep ending up, bank account to me was the best one. I see people all the time. Your bank account has a thermostat. You get a big deal, and then all of a sudden something happens and it sets it right back to where you were. Our relationships, thermostats. These are consciousness. These are loops that are created by the conscious, subconscious, and your unconscious competency, which you actually can change today easier and better than ever. This is designed, this training, to elevate your frequency, your awareness, your consciousness. Remember, awareness is created by frequency or by vibration. Everything around us, consciousness vibrates, but everything in the human experience vibrates. The earth vibrates the slowest, plants, animals, human, then sound, then light, and then thought. My life changed when someone taught me that you can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than you. Now we can be aware of that which vibrates or less than other people's consciousness. Now, always remember, within the context of awareness, being aware makes things easy, not dis-easy. In fact, awareness can show us what's creating dis-ease and elevate the ease so that we get the cheat codes, all the different things in life that become easy. Like my motivation for meditation of elevating my frequency, my vibration, was that my mentor, my coach, my teacher of meditation said, when I rejected her about learning to meditate, telling her I don't have time, I already have everything I want, why would I meditate? Only people who sit at home high, broke, and sick on their mom's couch dreaming about what they want meditate. I get what the hell I want. I make it happen. I'm in control. And she said, well, meditation, you can elevate your awareness, your frequency, your vibration, like when to buy or sell. So being money motivated, an identity attached to money, I immediately said, I'm going to learn to meditate, not because I thought it was going to elevate my awareness for anything other than what? Making more money. Because if you know when to buy or sell, you'll make more money. but it's actually designed to elevate consciousness, to approach these problems, these struggles from a higher, more elevated frequency or awareness, so they're easy. So you're not wasting your learning. Through intentional learning, reflection, reminding, remembering, recollecting, and action, intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, action defined by me as intention. When we are intentional, that is action. It has 5 levels of intention, 5 levels of frequency or vibration within those intention. Doing has a vibration, saying has a vibration, feeling has a vibration, believing and thinking has a vibration. What is the highest level of all 3? Your potential, the truth. The truth vibrates the fastest. It vibrates the fastest in what you do. When you tell the truth, it vibrates the fastest. What you say, when you think the truth, it vibrates the fastest. When you believe the truth, it vibrates the fastest. And when you feel the truth, it vibrates the fastest. It is the highest level of frequency. And so if it vibrates the fastest, if it has the highest frequency, it's going to make your life easy because it's going to elevate your awareness to what you're doing to interfere with your potential, with the truth. And so we can shift our mindset, our heart set, our handset to uncover new information from the infinite, new energy from the infinite, and transform our obstacles, our struggles into what? Options, opportunities, touches of favor through its protection, promotion, love, and perfection of ourselves. So it's super important to understand we need to shift our consciousness. We need to elevate our awareness through vibration or frequency. And I've created structured steps as a framework to make your own so that you can customize these steps to make your own, to elevate what's important to you, not what's important to me, not what's missing, not what you don't have, but what's important to you in your divine direction, elevating your awareness to the detours to make those divine, and most importantly, to understand time so that you have the patience and persistence to allow for divine time to reveal what's called a revelation, reveal to you what? The truth. So that you have the cheat codes. So things are easy, not dis-easy. So you're accessing at ease the infinite information, energy, and truth that's available to all of us in an infinite, abundant, unified system of thought that we belong to. And so when we follow these structured steps, which I'll provide to everybody, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. David means beloved. @D is my first initial. Meltzer means servant or waiter. Beloved servant, david@dmeltzer.com. You'll learn how to rise above the meaning you've given your past. Rise above the limitations of your past, knowing that you what? Never will overachieve your own self-image. Self-image is limited by the meaning you give, the failures, mistakes, setbacks, defining moments, historical relevances, what other people have said to you, taught you, put onto you, any bullshit in your life. Stop limiting your meaning of your self-image because you'll never overachieve your own self-image, limited by your past. And so today we're going to talk about how you currently think, how you access the subconsciouses and the unconscious competencies for these breakthrough ideas, feelings, words, beliefs, and actions, which are based off of intention. And we now can turn those into a purposeful, definite purpose, Napoleon Hill-esque action. The goal is not just to solve the problem, but to grow into the person capable of thinking higher level and creating solutions that align with your true purpose, your definiteness of purpose. Remember, every problem already has the solution in it. You're just a human being. And so what is required to find the solution within every struggle, every problem is time. It's just a lapse of time, right? You take a test in college, it's just a lapse of time until you find the solution. They're right there written out. Every problem has it's one. Everything's one. It's just a lapse of time. So what is our objective of shifting our consciousness? To shorten the distance of resistance, shorten the distance of time between the problem and the solution so that life is easier. We spend more time at ease than at dis-ease, more time at ease than in struggle or in the problem itself. So we can take on more problems and learn more and get stronger and better from that. So we want to shorten distance of resistance through wisdom and faith. Wisdom is obvious within the construct of a consciousness. Faith is not. There's a consciousness of faith. I try to simplify it for people that you need to have faith when no evidence or the evidence is contrary to where you want to be. Has anyone seen in your pursuit of your potential in your business, for example, has anyone here seen that there is nothing but evidence that says in your business that you're going to get there or better? All the evidence is there. Good. Then you're looking at it the right way because you have faith. If you don't have faith, there's no way you would see evidence that is completely aligned with where you want to be or better. But those who see something bigger than them, that is omniscient, all powerful, and all knowing, sees the evidence even when nobody else believes it. What do you mean? You don't have any money. I get it. I have all the evidence I need because I have wisdom and faith in order to be there. So let's begin this journey. Let's create the framework to elevate our frequency, our neighborhood, our confidence, our vibration, our number one, build a strong foundation with intentional learning. Know that the only reason you're here is to learn. Life is about lessons. Lessons will keep on coming until you learn them. If you don't learn them, the same lessons will keep repeating themselves. You will forget every single lesson you ever learned, but have a great power from those who raise their hand to recollect, remind, and remember the lessons that we learned or even weren't conscious of learning. Why does that matter? The right knowledge, the wisdom is the key to solving the problems in a shortened amount of time. Taking time to learn the latest trends and best practices, limiting their ability to innovate. 3 things we should be learning today and teaching our children to learn today. Number 1, we should be practicing AI, which is obvious in its power of consciousness. 2, we should be reading and empowering people to read what they like to read about. Not what we're forcing them to read about. Read about what you like. You like football? Read about football. You like mindset? Read about mindset. You like fish? Read about fish. But we need to read because reading practices developing the imagination, but also defining real from fake. So I think the capabilities of practicing AI are obvious why you want to do that today. Why we should be reading isn't obvious to most kids, especially most adults, because we need to have a development of the muscle of the mind to know the difference between imagination and real. Those people that will be able to do that will succeed and have a greater ease and an elevated frequency and understanding of their journey. And then finally, I believe we need to learn to cold call. Best way to do it is knock on doors, but there's many ways to knock on doors today. I think that if we want to accelerate our careers, if we want to distinguish ourselves in the future, personally and professionally, we need to practice AI, we need to read, and we need to learn to cold call, which sole purpose is to get people to get back to us because there's so much noise and the audience is so big that those people that can get people to get back to them, email them back, call them back, DM them back, write them back, show up them back, are going to be statistically far more successful just because of a baseball theory that is proven true in quantitative statistical success, which is those people that get the most at bats get the most hits, get the most doubles, the most triples, the most stolen bases, the most RBIs, the most home runs, and the most grand slam. Go look up the most at bats, and you will find that the people who have the most at bats have the most hits, the most doubles, triples, home runs, grand slams, and wins. So today, with a total addressable community of billions of people, if you do not have a capability of getting people to get back to you, you're going to have less at bats. Need I say more? A leader that I work with so many leaders trying to take business problems without taking the time to learn about the capabilities necessary to solve them in the context of what's doing well, what's stable, and what you think is doing well, are incapable and limit their own ability to innovate and co-create. When I say co-create, you know who the other co-creator is, right? The guy who's commanding us to do things. Your God, not mine. Your God is commanding you. He's not demanding you. Command means to work with and collaborate. So we're co-creators commanded to not steal, to do good, to be kind, not to be right, not to be separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, or guilty. No commandments say that at all. They say be at ease, be inspired, be honest, be kind. We're commanded as co-creator to do that, even as leaders in business. We need to start by being intentional, by doing, saying, feeling, and believing the wisdom that aligns with your definiteness of purpose, not mine. What you want, not what's missing, not what we don't have, not what other people think or what you think other people think or you want them to think. What you want, a definiteness of purpose based off intention. I'm going to do, say, think, feel, and believe aligned with my divine direction or better. Let's identify the struggles and list out the intention by facilitating, making easy, by dissipating the dis-easy. Seek the wisdom and the faith that align directly with your definiteness of purpose. Don't attach to the outcome. Analyze the behaviors, negotiable, non-negotiable, planned, unplanned, sleep. Analyze the behaviors and define them as good or bad simply by good behaviors are aligned with where you want to be or better. Bad behaviors interfere with it. How many of you here today, like me, have identified a bad behavior and recovered from it? Drinking, smoking, not working out, eating, all of us. Isn't that amazing? And how much better do you do, say, think, feel, and believe towards where you want to be or better because you quit smoking, drinking, lying, cheating, manipulating, resenting, guilting? How many of us see a markable quantitative difference in our life? Absolutely. We need to establish a strong foundation of learning. Second, we need to elevate reflection, remembrance, and reminding to a higher consciousness. What's a higher consciousness? What we do, say, think, feel, and believe aligned with what we believe to be true. That's the highest consciousness, the truth. And so according to subject matter, topic, or expertise, we can find people that are aligned with the truth. And so for me, whether it's Dr. Wayne Dyer, Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, Deepak Chopra, Einstein, Viktor Frankl, all of these different people are who I remind, remember, and recollect or reflect with in a higher consciousness according to the struggles, patterns, setbacks, failures, mistakes, interference, or resistance that I'm experiencing in my perspective. And so reflection, reminding, remembering, recollecting with our source, which has infinite what? Information, infinite energy, infinite inspiration, allows me to shift that consciousness and learn from a different perspective to stop that loop of thermostatic behavior. It's a reflection that elevates an awareness to allow what we do, say, think, feel, and believe to integrate into an expanded self, closer to our potential. I work with so many entrepreneurs reading books, but fail to reflect on the lessons that we apply to our own situation, aligning with our skills, our knowledge, and our desires. Instead, creating separation, comparison, or conditions and judgments with those people, we now want to align, synthesize the lessons, which is why everything I do, shows that I do, speeches I give, masterminds, I always ask for a takeaway to remind, remember, and reflect that we're here for a definiteness of purpose to learn something. And most people that we don't get intentional about takeaways, I can't tell you how many people when I speak around the world will come up to me and say, oh my God, Mr. Meltzer, that was the greatest speech I've ever heard, because of the way I made them feel. Not because of what I said, but they'll tell me, yeah, this is the greatest people, you changed my life. I said, oh really? What was it that I said that changed your life? No takeaway. I made them feel like I changed their life. I made them feel better. And Tony Robbins and many other people make billions of dollars making people feel good and then go back to the thermostatic approach, knowing that they have created an annuitized business model because I am somebody that can make people feel good, knowing that when they leave here, they have no takeaways and they will go ahead and reset to the thermostat. And when they get the resetting to the thermostat, they will pay me again to feel good. It's a great business model. It's kind of like my coaching business model where I'm on call 7 days a week, which is why I have hundreds and hundreds of people on my wait list. And then they're too afraid to call because they feel like they're bothering me. What a great business model. You pay me to be accessible to you, but you're too afraid and feel bad bothering me. I can have thousands of clients. Like I should take everyone off the wait list and just get paid for people to be accessible to them every day, but too afraid to call you. Crazy. All right. When we have faith beyond the wisdom that we're talking about in order to construct these steps, when we have faith, we can trust the power of not only the subconscious, the repetitive nature of the hosting of the lessons, but the actual repetition of the lessons themselves. The reinforcement, right? We want to be annoying with our consciousness. We want to be, as the previous lessons state, we want to be truthful. It's the highest awareness, the highest of consciousness. We want to pursue the truth in what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, but we also want to be repetitive. I will promise you, if you become like me, truthful as much as possible, because I'm not 100% truthful, I'm not 100% credible. If I was, everybody would do what I said, but I'm trying to be, but I'm not, because I'm human. But equal to the truth is repetition. You want to be annoying to people, be honest and repetitive. It's true. But if you want to be impactful to people, you want to be a great leader, a great collaborator, great co-creator, then be honest and repetitive. Sucks as a parent. I'm a great parent. You want to know why? Because I'm honest and repetitive. And man, do my kids hate that. It's annoying. So be annoying. Trust the power of subconscious and repetition. What we want to do is to allow the subconscious and make sure that we have the good thoughts defined by what? Align with where we want to be or better, and dissipate the negative consciousness that exists, the interfering ones that we've inherited from all the trauma of past lives, inherited lives, womb trauma, infant trauma, toddler trauma, tween trauma, teen trauma, 20s trauma, 30s trauma, 40s trauma. I'm 57 and a half today, by the way. It's June 11th. I was born June 11th. So even 57 and a half trauma, it's there. Trust the power of the subconscious mind. Fill it with where we want to be or better, so it becomes repetitive. And believe it or not, your subconscious mind is what's intact the majority of your day. Your unconscious mind, hopefully during REM and deep sleep while you're sleeping, very, very valuable to shift that energy the best that we can. The majority of your day, you're not conscious. The majority of your awake time, 16 hours on average for most people, is spent in the subconscious mind. So if you consciously are trying to input the correct data into the subconscious mind, you'll be way better off. You'll be feeding yourself doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing aligned with where you want to be. That's what creates an elevated awareness in what we do and how we do it. So let's take a break from the struggles, the challenges, the setbacks, the mistakes, and allow our minds to utilize the subconscious. Meditation is just not sitting there in the Buddha position. It could be swimming, dancing, walking, all types of activities create subconscious reinforcement of where we want to be or better. When we're breathing, eating, sleeping, all these different things actually are subconscious activity, even movement, yoga, balance exercises, all types of cool stuff we can do to allow the subconscious mind to feed us more energy and information of where we want to be or better, and program our unconscious competencies so that we are hardwired, not just intermediate wired, but hardwired to where we want to be or better, to ease. The next lesson in this idea, you can't solve a problem in the same consciousness in which it was created. More than happy, once again, send the exercise guides, the framework to you guys, david@dmeltzer.com. The next lesson in that construct I call embrace your aha moment. Embrace the aha moments. Breakthroughs don't happen by accident. Remember the definition of luck or coincidence. What I pay attention to in the conscious, my vision boards, my calendar, my conversations, what I pay attention to in the conscious, plus what we're talking about, the intentional doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing at the subconscious level equals the coinciding of the universe, the coincidences. Attention plus intention equals coincidence. Aha moments. They result from intentional process of learning, reflection, remembrance, and faith. When we break through, a coincidence arrives. And it's a result of elevated thinking, feeling, believing, doing, and saying. You are just aware of what already exists. An aha moment is a revelation. You're just revealing what's already exists. You're not, it's already there. You're just clearing the interference between you and what's already there. And so many different founders that find these creative solutions in persistent struggle and problem recognize, remember, and realize that this is a direct result of the intentional way that we do, say, think, and feel, and believe things of what we're focusing in on. You can practice this all the time. Focus in on the yellow Hyundai and be intentional about doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing in yellow Hyundais. Just me saying that again, almost all of you will start seeing a yellow Hyundai. Whether you want to continually see it, it's up to you. Recognize the coincidence, the coinciding. Recognize the clues and the patterns of the aha moments in your life, and then utilize the ones that are best aligned with where you want to be or better. What's doing well, what's stable, and what you think is doing well in your own divine direction. It'll make every detour divine and allow for divine time to elevate the awareness of the ease of the information, the cheat codes that already exist to make things easy, dissipating the dis-easy. Breakthroughs occur, immediately capture them. Don't lose them. I have a system every day of intuition. I capture that which resonates with me. I call them aha moments, but it's just what I strongly feel something, either to the positive, which is all I used to capture. Oh, that's an amazing quote. Somebody said at a mastermind, I was at a BRB dinner or a mastermind, said, my mom gave me this amazing piece of advice that I think applies to you, Dave. You're either humble or you're about to be. And when I heard that, it almost dropped me to my knees. It resonated with me so much. And I captured it. I texted myself because I did not want to lose it. But what I learned throughout the career is not only capture that which resonates with me that I agree with, but especially now, when somebody says something that's like Tabasco in a wound to me, that seems so stupid, and I'm in such disagreement to it that he evokes fear, anger, frustration, guilt, resentment, separation, inferiority, or superiority, I capture that and find out why. Because that too is an aha moment for me. It's no coincidence. It's a coincidence. It's a coinciding with what I think, believe, say, do, and what I'm focusing in on. And I don't want it in my life. And I start to find the light, the love, and the lessons in that, which creates an acceleration and aggregation, a compounding of outcomes that I desire in my life. So how do we transform the intellect, intuition, and the inspiration that we receive every day into intention, into action? How do we transform it or expand it into what we want to do, say, think, feel, and believe, aligned with where we want to be or better? Well, these insights through intelligence, through intuition, through inspiration are nothing if we don't give meaning or relativity to it. I give meaning to everything I see, aligned with my definiteness of purpose. And execution is where consciousness turns into monetization or materialization. When people talk about manifesting what you desire, what you're actually doing is either materializing or monetizing what you wanted or better. That's it. There's no woo-woo bullshit from Rhonda Burns of The Secret of Manifestation, the laws of attraction. Bullshit. It's I am taking what exists in a higher vibration or frequency in the infinite. I am taking what already exists and I'm slowing down the vibration or frequency so that I'm aware of it, which is a matter of matter. And matter of matter in the human experience is either monetization of it or materialization of it. It's actually matter that I can be aware of or see, touch, feel, think, or believe. So many people don't give the right meaning to the manifestation process. They give an interfering meaning to it. They look at what's missing, what they don't have, what other people want, and wonder why they only get what other people want, what's missing, and what they don't have. I promise you, you can materialize what you don't want. Go ahead, put attention and intention on what you don't want. You'll get what you don't want. That's why worrying is so great, right? Because we're actually not only interfering with what we want, we're manifesting what we don't want. And if you don't believe me, check anybody that's taken a test and said to themselves, like me, I hope that the rules of perpetuity are not on my trust and estates exam. I hope it's not there. Guess what the first question on the test was? Exactly what I'm worrying about. I see people do that all the time. Leaders do that all the time. And leaders who have breakthrough ideas but don't implement them through this process of attention plus intention equals coincidence, shifting the consciousness in which they see, they will never create meaningful change because they don't give it meaning. How could you create a meaningful change, a meaningful monetization, a meaningful shift in consciousness if you don't give it the right meaning? If you're giving it a meaning of what's missing, what I don't have, or what other people want from me, I promise you that's what you'll get. True mastery in your ability to refine, remember, and recollect will apply this elevated frequency or awareness to make things easy. The final step in expansion and transformation is turning your ideas, thoughts, beliefs into a monetization or materialization of clear definiteness of purpose by taking intention. To conclude how we change the way we look at things so the things we look at change, to shift the consciousness, to solve and change, knowing that we can't solve a problem in the same consciousness that it was created. It will just create a loop, and we do not want the thermostatic loops that we have today. We want to expand, grow, accelerate, aggregate, compound exponentially where we want to be or better for ourselves. Throughout this, we hopefully have all learned how to approach the struggles, the challenges, the setbacks, the failures, the mistakes with a mindset that elevates your consciousness and shifts your thinking to a higher frequency, a higher vibration, to make things easy, to give you the cheat codes. By applying attention and intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe to every step, from seeking this purposeful wisdom and applying our why, applying our inspiration, applying our faith, will allow us to trust our conscious and subconscious and even our unconscious. Embracing the breakthrough moments, elevating the clues, the patterns, and the choices we make in intention to create the coincidences we wanted. You will lay a foundation for solving these problems in a different consciousness than it was created, with a greater purpose, applying a greater why to what we do. Remember, problem solving isn't just finding the answers. The solution already exists. It's shortening the distance of resistance that's created with wisdom and faith. It's about evolving into the person who can see the opportunities, options, and touches of favor, find the light, the love, and the lessons in what other people see as punishment, seeing promotion, protection, love, and perfection of self. The insights and the actions that are provided here, which are available to all of you, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com, are here and designed to help you co-create lasting acceleration, aggregation, lasting solutions, outcomes, results, and consequences to address the challenges that make us better, that protect, promote, love, and perfect us, and contribute to your expansion personally and professionally. As you continue to apply your why with these principles, know that each problem has its solution and is an opportunity for a further elevation of your own frequency and your own awareness to make life easy. Stay intentional, stay attentional, and watch how your new mindset, heart set, and hand set leads you to all of these breakthroughs of your definiteness of purpose, your divine direction, with divine detours in divine time. Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You can't solve a problem in the same consciousness in which it was created. please reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. Get your exercise guides and books for free. I'll pay for shipping and the book. I'll send you these guides and exercises so you can practice, but more importantly, you can change them into your consciousness. Go ahead, take the exercises and training guide I give you and say, hey, change this into Einstein's consciousness or Dr. Wayne Dyer's or Bob Proctor's or somebody you actually respect, or put it into your own. I appreciate everybody. This has been the Napoleon Hill Institute weekly training. Remember, most importantly, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We'll see you later.